Industrial action over labor law reforms is gripping France nationwide, with oil refineries, nuclear power stations and transport hubs affected. Motorways and bridges were blocked and flights delayed, and 16 arrests were made as a result of clashes in Paris. Prime Minister Manuel Valls insists the reforms will not be withdrawn but has suggested they could be modified. The action, building over 3 months, comes 2 weeks before France hosts the Euro 2016 football championships. The CGT union is leading the action, supported by 6 other unions including Force Ouvriere and Unef, whereas the more moderate CFDT union backs the labor reforms. Flights to and from Paris, Nantes and Toulouse have been affected, and a rolling strike by train drivers has brought further disruption to regional and commuter rail services. CGT union members at nuclear power plants voted on Wednesday to join the strike, and the union said 16 of the country's 19 power stations would be affected. Nuclear power provides about 75% of the country's electricity. Grid operator Root said nuclear power capacity was being cut by at least 4 gigawatts, equivalent to 6% of the country's total production capacity, on Thursday, Reuters news agency reports. 6 of France's 8 oil refineries have already been hit by strikes and barricades, as have major ports including Marseille and Le Havre. As the union action ramped up on Thursday morning, Mr. Valls indicated there might still be improvements made to the labor reform laws. But he rejected Finance Minister Michel Sapin's suggestion that Article 2 of the bill could be rewritten. Article 2 gives individual companies the power to opt out of national obligations on labor protection if they feel they need to, something the CGT union is fiercely opposed to. Pumps running dry. The French Union of Petroleum Industries says a third of France's 12,000 petrol stations are now running dry. It said the government had begun using its strategic fuel reserves, which analysts say will last around 4 months. Transport Minister Alain Vitalis said 40% of petrol stations around Paris were struggling to get fuel. Unions were enraged by the government's decision to use a constitutional device allow its watered-down labor reforms to be made into law without parliamentary approval. The government says the reforms, which make it easier for companies to hire and fire staff, are needed to bring down unemployment.